What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, all right, we're going back to Cherry Filter. Yes, indeed, Cherry Filter fans feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bubbity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from SCL, and SCL wanted to see me react to this song by Cherry Filter called Revolution AD. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Cherry Filter, all right? And the video has 47,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. No idea. Revolution AD, Cherry Filter, Revolution AD. So I'm maybe that means Cherry Filter. Probably. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
This mix. Oh, everything's bleeding together. Like, and I don't mean in a good way. I don't mean like everything's meshing well. No, there is nothing well about this. Everything is just bleeding into each other. It's like someone took a microphone, stuck it in the middle of a room, and said, okay, everybody take your amps, move them as close as you can to this one microphone. We're going to have the microphone pointing straight up to the ceiling. Take the guitar and the bass and everything else. Get those amps as close as you can. Drums, get in there too, as close as you can to the mic. And we're going to just hit the record button with a single channel. This sounds bad. Really bad. I'm not talking about the songwriting. I'm not talking about the musicianship. I'm talking about the engineering on this is bad. This is hard to listen to. It really is. Woof. Man. Somebody take this out back and put a bullet in it and put it out of its misery. My goodness. Oh. It's really ruining the listening experience. It really is. All breathing into each other. Ah! You know what else it sounds like they did? It could also be this. They have everybody going through their own channels like they should. You know, everybody recorded their parts separately like they should. And then whoever the engineer is just took everybody's slider. All the drum sliders, the guitar sliders, the bass sliders, the vocal sliders, and everybody, the engineer just took everything and shifted all the sliders all the way up, as far up as they can possibly go, and then took the master bus and slid it down to like a 3. So everybody's being overdriven in the mix. Everybody's reverb is extra wet in the mix. Everybody's presence is super high in the mix, and they just took the master and slid it down. That's what this sounds like as well. Oh, good Lord. It's a shame because it sounds like, from what I can tell, from what I can gather from this mess, it sounds like the songwriting is okay. It sounds like the songwriting is all right. It sounds like the musicianship is all right, but man, it is not fun to listen to, and that's strictly because of the engineering. My goodness. The bass is just too loud, too boomy. What's the compression on that bass? That was the best sounding part of the entire song so far. Everybody laid out and you just had the two vocals harmonizing. A cappella. That was the cleanest sounding part of the entire song so far. Yikes. Right there. That was the best sounding part of the entire song. Oh, out of tune. On those harmonies. Oof. This was rough. Oh, man, this was rough. Woo. And most of it's engineering. Most of it's the mix. Most of it is the recording and not so much the recording, but the post-production. Oh, my goodness. Oh, God. And the sad part is I have to take that in consideration. It's part of the presentation. You know, it absolutely is. So oh, my goodness gracious. For those of you that are hoping for an 8 or a 9 or a 7, I got some really bad news for you. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I don't even see a 6 coming. I don't. I think the highest we can hopefully get here is a 5. Whew. That's a shame. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Cherry Filter with Revolution AD. This was a request from SCL. Whew, boy, that was rough. That was one of the roughest audio recordings I think I've ever heard on the channel. I have a score, and there's gonna need to be some explanation. That there is, because I'm gonna give the score, and if people aren't paying attention, they're gonna just be shocked. They're gonna, and a lot of them are gonna be upset and quite possibly even offended. But listen, if you listen to my reasoning, if you listen to where I'm coming from on this, I think it'll all make sense. You may still not like it, but you'll at least understand where I'm coming from. So let's get to it, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I hate to say it, but I'm going to give that a score of 4.7. Yep, 4.7. Look, I don't take any pleasure in giving lower scores, okay? I really don't. But at the same time, when it deserves it, I'm going to give it. And this song absolutely deserves a score of under 5. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. First things first, a 4.7. What does that mean? Okay, first things first, guys, calm down, okay? It's not as bad as you might think, okay? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not good, but it's not as bad as you might think it is. A 4.7 would translate to a not so good skill rating because honestly, it's not that great. It would also get 2 out of 5 stars, and interestingly enough, it also equates out to a C letter grade. Yes, a C. So it's not terrible. It's not horrible. It's still getting a C letter grade, which is passing. So there you go, a 4.7, not so good skill rating, 2 out of 5 stars, and a C letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. From what I could tell, the songwriting wasn't bad. It was simple. It was easy to follow. Nothing all that impressive about it, but it was solid work as far as I could tell from the songwriting. The chordal progressions sounded good from what I could tell. They made sense. Again, from what I could tell, I think the chordal progressions were pleasing to the ear. In my head, I'm doing the calculations, I'm doing the math, and yeah, the chordal progressions make sense. So I'm not mad at the songwriting. The musicianship, again, from what I could gather, from what I could tell, it sounded like the musicianship did well on this. It sounded like the parts that were being played made sense. It sounded like the notational selection from the bass, from the guitars, from the drums were different, but from the vocals, everything sounded like it lined up from what I could tell. Taking everything into account that I could hear, I would honestly give the song somewhere in the low 6s. Everything sounded good from what I could tell. Everything made sense from what I could tell. But therein lies the problem. the engineering on this, and listen, this is not a fidelity issue as far as an upload. This is not a fidelity issue as far as, it's low quality from overly compressed, from uploading to YouTube multiple times, upload, download, upload, download, upload, download. And now let's take that upload that we downloaded for the 5th time, super compressed, and upload it to YouTube again. No, that's not the case. This is an engineering issue, okay? But unfortunately, engineering is part of the process. It's part of the overall presentation. It's part of the product, which is what we are evaluating. And folks, man, this was bad. What I suspect is somebody, when they were recording this, they record the part with all of this. Now they actually recorded this with all the sliders up, fully maxed out, no mixing, no adjusting individual levels. Everything was just all the way up to plus 15 on the dBs, okay? And then someone took the master bus and slid that down to like -4. So you're gonna make everything sound overdriven and adjust everything down. That makes no sense. Either that, or somebody did my original idea. Let's just take a single microphone, stick it in the room. Everybody move your amps and the drums as close as you can to that one microphone. Just completely surround it with speakers and with drums. And we'll stick the vocalists in the middle and have them sing into the mic as well. I mean, a very old school way of thinking when it comes to recording. And even then, bands that did that would know that if you're going to have a single mic, you have to adjust, your musicians, and adjust and turn amps and speakers and turn the drums and put, walls up in front of the drums. And, they know better than that. They know better than to do that and think that that's a good idea. It's not. If you're going to have a single mic, that's fine, but you have to, look back in the day of wax, when they were actually used wax discs. When Louis Armstrong had to record, they put him. He was so powerful. They would have the orchestra, set up properly, and then they would take Louis Armstrong and they would put him in a corner. Face the corner and play towards the corner, away from the microphone, because he was so loud, he was so powerful. And that's how they got a good balance. That's how they got a good mix. You do what you got to do with a single mic, but not in this case. If there was a single mic recording, that was very poorly executed. But I don't think it was. I think there were multiple tracks used. It's just all the sliders were up as high as they could possibly go. And, they pulled the master bus down, which made everything, as a result, sound extra wet, extra overdriven, bleeding over into each other profusely, and everybody kind of burying each other, depending on whatever note they were playing. The vocals, sometimes when they were in the lower register, you couldn't hear them hardly at all. And then they would get in the upper register and they would blow everybody else out of the water. It made no sense from an engineering standpoint. This was some poor engineering, which is a shame because it ruined what potentially could have been a pretty good song. So anyway, 4.7. Yeah, this was not the best outing for them. And I understand that, folks. And again, in closing, do I blame Cherry Filter for this? To some extent, yes, I have to, because they approved it. They put their stamp on it. But then again, maybe they had no say, and this was all 100% up to the record company. And some producer said, yes, this is a hit. This is going to make us millions. And that producer needs to be shot. And so does the engineer who came up with this and thought that this sounded good. So anyway, 4.7, that's where we're at, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 4.7, which is a not so good skill rating. It's not terrible, but it's not good. 2 out of 5 stars, and believe it or not, a C letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.